Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 8 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Druid gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So I don't think we have any admin notes today. It's stormy as always this time of year here where I'm at, but it's not too bad, so I don't think we should have any issues. So going right into our recap. Last stream and the stream before it were very combat-oriented streams where we ended up clearing out the Goblin Camp in its entirety. We made our way back to the Druid's Grove at the end of the live stream and saw that everyone was waiting for us at the entrance. We talked to the Tieflings, and we talked to the Druids and got all set up, and Halsin and everyone is going to be waiting for us in our camp to have some celebrations. And I think that's where we're going to start off. So we're going to jump right in today and have those celebrations. We're going to get our long rest out of the way, and at that point, we're going to head back out to the Blighted Village. Now, the Blighted Village is one of those areas where we listened to your suggestions and we bypassed it to get an early jump on the Goblin Camp. And now we're going to be coming back to it today. So, to start off exactly where we were last week, we're just going to take a quick look here and get rid of some of these camp items here, and everything else should be okay at this point, so we're gonna head back out here. And we're gonna talk to Zevlor here.
I should speak up.
We're ready to head to your camp. Are you? Excellent. Lead the way.
You're handsome.
Have a drink.
I'm fine.
Oh, make a dragon.
Oh, loosen up, pick her up.
No.
And I'll
Okay, so here we are in our campsite. And
Toddlers are easier to please than you lot.
just taking a quick look around here. So Halsin is over here at this side of the camp waiting for us. We have Mole over here. We also have our old standby of Withers over here at the camp. So let's just kind of make our way through the rounds here real quick, and we'll save Zevlor and Halsin for last.
Look at them all. Guzzling poison like we've the right to be happy.
Might as well try a charisma check here. No reason not to. Starting off our rolls well, I see.
I'm perfectly fine without that poison, thanks.
Okay.
Off you go. Try not to get too close, Cal.
Yes.
think of it. No more caves, no more tents, no more running away. We'll be in a city with roads and markets and homes.
Alright, so we see that Withers is down here. We're just going to walk around this side and open up the rest of the map here. Not going to be much that we can see.
Sherry! That's infernal for cheers. Or possibly turnip?
Going to have some fun conversations here.
I need to dance. No, I need to lie down.
None of that poetic stuff. Something like...
Patience? Have you no respect for showmanship?
Having performance issues, Roland?
Hush you. And... Adoring applause? You're too kind.
Remember when he could barely cast that?
They grow up so fast.
Never have I met such troglodytes. Now, pass the wine.
Okay, so we'll make our way over here, and we have the bard that we talked to
moment we
earlier.
hit the city, let's look.
This might be the wine talking, but I'm feeling inspired. Thinking of writing my next song about you. But I need an angle. Any ideas? Fitting. You're braver than half this camp combined. That deserves to be remembered.
Okay, well that's always cool. So Astarion wants to say something to us, but we're gonna go have some other conversations first.
Hope you're enjoying the night, hero. I certainly am. Cheers to many more like this.
Okay, so we do have Volo here as well as our normal
Should
characters lined
go
up.
down
Let's head
there
over
and
here.
see the water.
What for? It's all dark and muddy.
You came through for us. That's a change from most adults I know. And that sounds like the wine drowning your wits. Go on, enjoy yourself. I've squirreled away a few extra bottles. When the barrel's tapped out, I'll be there to save the night. For a price, of course.
Okay. And nothing over here in this area. So now we can head back and we'll start having conversations with our people, and we'll start with Lae'zel first.
Toddlers are easier to please than you lot.
I have seen the Kithraki tear a screaming Neogi's legs from its belly to fashion into blades. Yet they could not match your nerve today. It was enough to drive me to madness. A pity for us both you've turned your back on me so often. Vlaakith demands of me no less. If only you'd earned the right to lay at my side. Come morning, you will wonder. You will wonder how my lips might have tasted, how my fingers on your skin might have felt. Oh, but do enjoy yourself this night. I intend to myself.
Okay, well, Lae'zel's slightly more appreciative towards us, to say the least. So we'll head over and talk to Will.
There she is, the woman herself. Let us raise a glass to freedom from tyranny. May we hew a clear path for the downtrodden to travel. To you, a legend in the making. And to the blade, another wrong righted, another page written. Your heart beats strong, friend. I'm proud to fight at your side. Now go off, have your fun. I've got a tankard keeping me company.
Okay, so now Astarion.
You know, I never pictured myself as a hero. Never thought I'd be the one they'd toast for saving so many lives. And now that I'm here... I hate it. This is awful. True. That was fun. Still, I would have liked more for my trouble than a pat on the head and vinegar for wine.
It's a heavy, rich red, dry and sharp.
See what I mean? Awful. All I want is a little fun. Is that so much to ask? Not at all. I was hoping for companionship. And, well, maybe a little death. Figuratively speaking. Not with you, just to be clear. I mean, can you imagine? Ugh, no. Anyway, don't let me keep you. I'm sure you have someone else to sniff around.
Okay, so we'll head over to Shadowheart.
Everyone seems to be in high spirits. Strange. You know who I never thought I'd find myself caring for? Exactly right. Never gave them much thought. Certainly not that bunch in the grove. Yet we came through for them. We saved their lives. Odd. Something like that. I was taught to reject anything that distracted from Shah. But there'll be time for penance later. Share a bottle with me? We should wait a little while. Until the others have drifted off. Best not keep me waiting. I'd prefer not to entertain myself.
Okay, and now for Gale.
Thank you. I'm glad you sought me out. Amidst all this merriment, I wasn't sure we'd have a chance to speak this evening. More's the pity you've already found someone else to make merry with. Just the two of you. There's something unspeakable about Shadowheart. But I mean that in a good way. She seems to me like a bud on the cusp of bursting into a rose. That, or deadly nightshade. Far be it from me, of course, to question your tastes. Caught on to that, did you? Might be the wine talking. As they say in Waterdeep, in wine there is truth. That's usually followed by, in water there is good sense. Good sense will have to wait till the morrow. But before you go, I know there are many things about me that remain shrouded in mystery. You've been very patient with me. I appreciate that. The time has come to paint you the true picture. I can only hope my tale will live up to your expectations. Tonight, of course, we celebrate. I won't keep you any longer. Tomorrow night, though, you're in for quite the bedtime story.
Okay, so we're going to learn more about Gale there as we go. We can see if we can talk to Valo here.
None of that poet.
Aha, there you are. Come now, settle in. I do hope you have partaken of something bracing. This may well take us all night. Why, you're naming, quite obviously. That ballad was but a crude preview, a frame without its crowning jewel. Your nom de guerre. Something iconic, but not too much of a mouthful. We don't want to exclude the common folk, after all. I intend this tale to enrapture all. Far too much? This is the very problem. If you could set aside your many triumphs, carry out one defining act, not to belittle your achievements to date, of course, but besting a dragon, a giant, a god, perhaps? I must deliberate. Go. Enjoy your evening. I shall have work for you in the days to come.
Okay, so interesting there. So I think we've talk to everybody that we want to. What we want to do, however, is prepare for Will's removal from the party. So let's start removing
The moment we hit
items from him
Let's
that
look
we're
for our
going
own
to
place.
transfer
Roland can finally
back
have his own
to
socks
Gale.
folded, color
So
coordinated,
that
even
way we
ironed.
can get this party change done while we're here during the celebrations. And we can head out in the morning with our party back to what we want it to be for most of the duration of the playthrough. There will be times when we are going to change characters in and out, just like we did with Will here. When a companion quest comes along and we want him to be part of it. But for now, there's nothing really else that we need anybody to...
Well, not like you needed it.
or we don't have anything else that we want to do with Will. So we'll go ahead and remove all of his items and just kind of leave him as he is, and we will go talk to him.
Cheers.
Okay, so we're not going to be able to remove him from the party yet. We'll have to wait until after we're done with all of this. So let's go talk to Halsin. I'm not sure if we can or if he's going to say, ask to talk to us later, but let's see.
Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow.
Yes, as expected. So now we'll go over and we'll talk to Zevlor, and we'll end the tiefling portion of this, of the quest here.
You have no idea how good it feels to see these people smiling. The singing we could probably do without, but even so, thank you.
Okay, so let's get our food here that we're going to utilize. So might as well take some of the mugs of beer out of here. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, that's 30, 36, the deadly salamis, and some coffee. Help us wake up. So that should be 40. Now we'll head over and take our long rest.
The buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk. Though you seek repose, you needn't spend the night alone. With whom will you share a bed?
Okay, so this list will be populated by everyone that you made an advance toward. In this instance, we only made an advance towards Shadowheart, so that's the only option here. But you also have the option to go to bed alone at this point as well.
Your heart skips a beat. What treasures might this night bestow?
You made it. Come here. Sit with me. So eager. I'm surprised it took you this long. Well, to begin, bold. What does us entail? I suppose I'll find out. To us. Now tell me something about yourself. And no tadpoles, dragons, marauding goblins, or anything like that. Something about you.
Okay, so we do have a persuasion check here we can make. It's a DC 15. We do have guidance available to us here. And that's a spectacular failure.
Oh no. I provided the refreshments. You can supply the entertainment. Seems like you truly know the city. I never got to explore it to my liking. Don't stop now. Not just as things are getting interesting.
Okay, so we can try persuasion again. Could have used that roll last time.
Don't laugh, but I'm not quite sure I have anything to share. When you worship Shard, secrecy is everything. We'll sacrifice our own memories when ordered to. A lot of the little things, they're lost to me right now. Perhaps. But please, enough about me. Sharing's bad for my complexion. There's still plenty of wine, and the whole night is ahead of us. Nearly light. The others will be awake soon. What? I know, but you're sweet to notice. Thank you for last night. It was just what I needed.
She trails off. You read an invitation in her eyes.
That didn't hurt, did it? Good to know. For the future. Let's head back, if we must.
I trust you celebrated most heartily. Curious. I wonder if the tadpole shares in your suffering the morning after. I'm glad to hear it. You'll need fortitude for what's to come. I promise to help you with your infection. There's almost certainly a cure to be found at Moonrise Towers, but it's complicated. The journey specifically, it's extremely perilous. Though it seems you're well accustomed to navigating danger.
Finally, we're catching up on our puppet master. And the hunt ends at Moonrise Towers.
To get to the towers, you'll need to pass through a terrible place. A cursed place. This curse shrouds everything in shadow. You will not find life, light, or anything natural there. Any who linger are twisted by the curse. They become shadow beings, tormented, dangerous souls. You could go overland. Along the Risen Road or through the mountains. Easier at first, but you'll run into the Shadow Curse eventually. You could also go under. There is a tunnel somewhere in the ruined Temple of Selûne. It leads to Moonrise Towers through the Underdark. Long ago, a man called Ketheric Thorm built a secret stronghold deep down there, before rallying a whole army of Dark Justiciars, Shah worshippers. Aradin and his lot were looking for a way down there. They were promised riches if they retrieved a relic called the Night Song. But I think there's more. From this stronghold, Ketheric's forces could access both the Temple of Selûne and Moonrise Towers. But he was defeated before he could launch an attack. If you can find this place, I'll wager it will reveal a path to Moonrise Towers, bypassing the worst of the Shadow Curse. Already? If only I'd gone with you instead of Aradin. Anything is preferable to risking the shadow curse. I would like to join your camp, if you'll allow me. I can offer my skills, my counsel. I've long sought to return to Moonrise Towers. Unfinished business. It seems our fates have aligned. I've chosen a successor as first Druid, Francesca of the High Forest. A bird's already been dispatched to summon her. Wrath has promise, but he has a ways to go yet. He wasn't able to stop Ogre by himself. The Grove needs experience, and a strong hand. The Grove needs to move beyond the mistakes of the past. What it needs is an unknown quantity. An outsider who can enforce the Oakfather's teachings without bias. This is why I chose Francesca. She will restore simplicity and purity to the Grove in my absence. Indeed. We've quite the journey ahead of us. I advise you start in the Temple of Selûne. If you find the Dark Justiciar's hidden entrance, it could lead you all the way to Moonrise. Resentment will spring up like mushrooms no matter what I do. You cannot please everyone, and you'd be a fool to try. Now, we've quite the journey ahead. Best get started.
Okay, so that completes the Save the Refugees quest. And rescue Druid Halsin, and now he appears in our camp over here, and like he said, will be offering services to us. Much along the lines of what Withers does, but just for different things, and we'll explore that more as we go here. So let's remove Will from our group here.
Damn it all. That goblin you killed in their camp, you knew I had business with the bastard. Do you have to smash every roach you walk past? Just forget it. We push forward, find a cure. We're a team after all. At least till I hear different. Besides, there are ways to make a roach's corpse talk.
Okay, so let's try and see what we can do here. Like I said, we were going to use the tadpole every opportunity we got. Wow, we've rolled a 1, a 2, and a 3 today. 119, but still.
Soars from Will's mind to yours. Mizora. A shadow swims across your vision, and a familiar voice tells you to be calm. You are loved.
Ouch! You could have warned me before you went poking in there. Well, I suppose it's time you knew the truth. We're not the only ones the Mind Flayers snatched up. They took her. An old flame of mine, too. Mizora. Goblin called Spike dragged her from her squid pod, roughed her up good. Not the first time the bug has given me trouble either. We've got a history. I know you want answers. Just give me some time. When I'm ready, I'll tell you what you want to know. You sure about that? I'm one of a kind. And just when things were warming up.
Okay, so now we're going to put Gale back in the party.
How can I help? With pleasure. Lead on.
Okay, and Gale does have a level up available to him. Okay, so for Wizard from level 3 to 4, it's really about spells and spell slots. In addition to, obviously, the feat that we can grab here. So let's do the feat first. So if you remove these two, you can see that we have his intelligence at 16. We can add 2 to intelligence and get that up to 18 right now. And that's probably the best course for him. Now, for cantrips, we're going to gain another one here, and True Strike is kind of like Hex and that sort, and Hunter's Mark. It gives you bonuses on your next attack roll, but we're not really using that sort of stuff. I think we're going to use Chill Touch as our cantrip, or maybe I'm thinking if we want to use something like Dancing Lights or something like that to be able to help us better light up an area that we might, so that people aren't obscured and we have disadvantage while they're there. So I haven't utilized this much. I've normally favored Gale to be more offensive, evocation minded, which, Chill Touch would do very well toward. I think I am going to go ahead and take Chill Touch. Okay, so for my 2 spells here that I get to choose. So out of my level 2 spells that I have here, we've gone through most of these that are in here. There's another way for wizards to get spells, and that's by reading scrolls. So what we also want to kind of do is not focus on spells that we can get other ways. And so from that aspect, we can kind of take a look at what we have through our inventory. Now, we don't have access to our inventory here inside this screen to know. So that would have been something that I should have really done beforehand, to know kind of what scrolls we had in our inventory. But Web is a very important crowd control spell for your wizard to be able to know. And then Misty Step is also quite important for getting around the battlefield, so to speak. And Misty Step uses a bonus action, not an action. So he can move to wherever he wants to go, and then he can still use his action to cast a spell or something like that. So another very powerful spell to be able to have. We have 1 concentration spell and 1 non-concentration spell, so again, a good balance there for what we're looking for. So when we look at our customized spells, we can get rid of Fog. We have non-concentration, non-concentration, and non-concentration. Then we have a couple of concentration spells here. So I think what we're going to do is remove Witch Bolt. We're going to add Web into this and add Misty Step into this. And I think that again gives us a good mixture of, we've got some concentration here, and then we've got non-concentration for the rest of it. So we could probably remove Sleep and put in something like Witch Bolt, but being an area of effect spell, it has a lot of bonuses to be able to use. Now it's going to become less and less important the higher hit points the monsters become, or the enemies become, as we go along, but for now I think it's still a viable spell for us to have. So I think that completes what we're going to do with Gale. So we can go ahead and transfer items to Gale's inventory. And as a light crossbow, a simple weapon for him, he's proficient in it. We're going to give him Rain Dancer. He's got just regular robes here, so we might as well give him the Robes of Summer. There's no reason not to at this point. And then we're going to give him all of the other things that we give everybody. Potions of Healing, Potion of Speed, and our Scrolls of Revivify. We're going to give him Chimera's Locket just because, again, that gives him the Dancing Light cantrip, so another reason not to take it, at least for now. He's got it in the Locket form. And the Ring of Color Spray, which, again, allows him to cast it. He'll have a better saving throw if he does cast it. But hopefully don't have a whole lot of use for it. So now what we have is we're going to transfer all of these scrolls back to Gale. And we're going to start looking at what scrolls we have and what we can do with them. So let's get these transferred over here. So, like I said, we have another way for wizards to learn spells. And if you go to the spell book, you can see that Gale has this icon over here for learn more spells. And if you... It gives you an item that's basically, it costs you gold to be able to learn new spells in your spell book. And learning a spell from your own school of magic costs less. Now, we're evocation based, so that means all of our evocation spells are going to cost us less gold, and that's why you can see some of them with this star next to it, indicating that those are spells from the evocation school. So we're going to get discounted gold prices to be able to learn those. Okay, so from here, now we can add any of these scrolls into our list. These are spells that we don't have access to right now, and we can gain them by learning them. Now, there's a downside to this in that you can, again, with wizards, we have to prepare our spells, and we have a limited number of spell slots that we can prepare. So even if you can learn all of these spells, you're only still going to be able to prepare, I think, 7 spells right now at the current level. So we'd have to replace one of our prepared spells with the new spell to be able to use it, but it becomes available for us to prepare later on if we want to. So from that perspective, we can especially learn ones that we have multiple scrolls of it. So Burning Hands, for instance, we'd still have 4 of them left, so we can cast 4 of them from scrolls without having to learn it. But Blur, if we learn it, that scroll's going to disappear. And because we're transcribing it to our spell book, and we can't use it as a scroll anymore, we would have to prepare it to be able to use it. So keep that in mind. It's obviously a good idea to learn ones that you have multiple of, but at the same time, just realize that anything that you want to learn from the others, that scroll's going to disappear, and you're not going to have access to it anymore. So for now, you can see we've got 4,500 gold. This is going to cost us 275 to learn just those. So we'll go ahead and learn those. And now in our prepare spells section here, we can select what we have. And we've got 3 level 2 spell slots and 4 level 1. But now you can see Burning Hands is here in our list. And so is Hold Person now available to us to be able to learn if we had a spell slot to put it in. We currently don't. We've got all of our spells prepared that we want to have prepared. So I think that puts us at a good spot. And like I said, the only ones we have left are ones that we only have 1 of. And for now, I don't know as if there's anything that's so important that we would want to swap out one of our existing spells to use it. So we're going to leave those just as scrolls for now. And again, they're all transferred over here to Gale, as well as some other items that he'll, want to sell off as we go through this. So I think that gets us to a good spot here. So we'll go ahead and take our long rest.
Well.
Whoops.
Is that blood? No.
Take our long rest here and head out. Okay. So, we are in the Druid Grove. We do have some things in Gale's inventory that we need to sell out, but you see that everybody's now gone from the location. Kaga is here. So, let's go talk to her real quick and see if she has anything to say.
Peace. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Okay, so nothing much else. So we can head back down in here. and talk to Aaron and see if Aaron has any money left to be able to sell him some of the items that we have.
It'll take a while for us all to recover, but you've helped us take the first step. Of course.
Okay, so his gold's replenished. So we do have some camp supplies. It didn't cost us anything to do that or to take that long rest. So let's go ahead and just sell off all these items that Gale is carrying here. He doesn't need any of these boots. Okay. We don't have anything that Astarion wants to sell, or that Lae'zel wants to sell. We don't have anything here except... yeah, we can sell off this book. And we'll send all the camp supplies back to our camp.
Balance.
So let's do that and free up this carry weight, since we don't need any of them. Should be pretty quick here, and then we can head out. Okay, and we do have this pouch here that we forgot to get rid of, but not that big a deal. Okay, and we can just kind of move these up here, so we'll be able to put all of Gale's sell items down at the bottom of our inventory as we collect them. And that should be it. Okay, so like I said last time, we are now going to head out toward the Blighted Village. Now, the Blighted Village is here in the center point of the map here. We had, on your recommendations, we had bypassed that and headed straight over to the Goblin Camp previously. Well, now we're going to go start our adventures here. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, there is a way into the Underdark from the Blighted Village, but there's also some quests that we'll be able to complete here in this area. And speaking of quests, looking at our journal, we did complete Rescue Druid Halsin, and he gave us the Reach Moonrise Towers quest to continue on. Save the Refugees has now been entirely completed, and the Tieflings have left for Baldur's Gate, so in the full version of the game, hopefully we will meet up with them. Rescue Volo, we talked to him, but he said he was going to have more business for us as we go, and as we take long rests and head back to our camp, we'll be able to talk to him more. And then, during our conversation with Shadowheart, she told us some other things about Shar worship and her memories. So, that kind of gets us caught up on the quest, so now let's head back out, and we're going to have to walk over to the Blighted Village, but once we're there, we're going to open up or unlock the waypoint pretty quickly for us to be able to journey back there whenever we want. Okay. And we've been through all of this, and also that long rest that we took isn't really a long rest, so to speak, from a normal perspective. It gets us all of our stuff back. All of our short rests and all of our spell slots and wild charges and all that sort of stuff. But it doesn't allow us to have normal conversations with, or normal cutscenes with some of the characters in our camp. So you'll see how there will be more conversations for us to have when we go back to our camp and take our first normal long rest. After this is done. So we're going to move up here, and we're going to hide, and we're going to break the group. And I'm not entirely sure, since this was a long time ago, if... Okay, so the perception failed, but Lae'zel's did. And what that perception check has revealed is we have some goblins here who are waiting to ambush us as we walk in. You can see that they're actually ambushing, is what it says, and we have them on both sides. So as we make our way in here, you can see the detection cone, and where it stretches out to. We have a path along this side where we can avoid the detection cone. We also have a path here where we can get here and we can jump across over to here. So we have some options on how to deal with this. Now again, we're not going to let any of the goblins live. We don't have a use for any of them. There are ways to talk our way out of things that are happening here, but we want to deliver some retribution to them for the things that we know that they have done in kidnapping people and burning villages, especially like this one here. So we're not going to let them go. So we're going to slowly make our way into some different areas here. And you can see we can make our way up here. And the detection cone does not cross the ladder, so we're going to make our way up here to the roof. And you can see where the detection cones are. Okay, so we're just going to make our way up to here, and then we're going to switch to Lae'zel. And we're going to bring her up into this area here. Now we're going to jump her across. And we have another ladder over here that we can make our way up. Okay, and again, we have a couple of goblins on this side. Okay, so now for Astarion, going to do somewhat the same thing. But we're going to put him over here on this side with our Druid. Try and get that path worked out a little bit more so he stays out of the detection cones. Okay, and again, just move him up here.
Let's get this over
and last will be Gale.
that way.
Doesn't really matter what we do with Gale. Gale doesn't have a whole lot of strength to be able to jump very far. But he can make that jump. So we can get him up top as well. Okay. So we're going to, as usual, start this off with Astarion. You can see that we have another detection cone down here. There's a goblin that's patrolling down here. We have two up top over here and one in this opening here. And then we have two up here on this side. So again, we're going to start this off with Astarion. And we're going to do it by attacking the Booyog here, I think. So now looking at the breakdown of the points, we've got a 98% chance to hit. Our minimum is 8 out of 25 total. So we've got about a 75% chance to make a kill here if we get the hit. Okay. So, crazily enough, Astarion rolled horrifically bad, and Gale rolled really, really well. But it put everybody into combat. I wasn't necessarily expecting that to happen, but it is what it is. I could have probably left everybody down low and avoided that and then brought them up to do what they needed to do, but Gale has rolled first here, so let's see what we want to do. And I think... So who do we have coming up next in the lineup? So looks like... Yes, this tracker down here is going to be the next one to make an attack, but they've got a ways to go to be able to make an attack on me here, and they're well out of range of being able to get to anybody over here. So I think we don't necessarily have to kill them, so this Booyog here is going to be the next one to attack. So I think we need to make sure that we remove this Booyog from the equation. And then this tracker is going to be next after that. So looking at what we have, I think we're probably best going with a magic missile here. And I think we can put 2 here and 1 here and see what kind of kills we can get with this. Okay, so didn't kill anybody out of that. We rolled really, really low on our damage rolls for that. So I think Gale is probably okay here, and there's no need for him to use Misty Step or anything like that to with his bonus action, so I think we'll just end his turn and let them attack. Okay, so now my turn here. So let's... I think we want to make sure that we remove the Booyog here.
I will not know failure.
Okay. And then we'll move over here, and with the Goblin Tracker with 4 hit points, I can pommel strike. And it knocked him out, so great. Okay. So now we don't have to use her action surge or anything like that for this fight. It's relatively easy. So now we will work with Astarion, and again, the way this goblin is oriented toward Astarion, we're probably going to be able to position ourselves in a spot where we can hide. So let's do cunning action dash. We'll then move around as far as we can behind this goblin and see if we can hide here in this location.
Now they see me.
We can. So now we will execute our sneak attack melee. And we will end that fight really before it starts. And now we'll move kind of out of line of sight so that the goblin tracker, if they come out, can't shoot us with their bow.
I wonder if
Okay.
this is worth the cost.
Now, there's nothing really at this point for our Druid to do. We've finished off this side. So we will just dash, make our way back down here to the bottom. And start making our way over to the other side. See if we can prosecute a last attack over there. So, for Gale, there's nothing really for him to do. There is a possibility, I guess, that we might be able to see that goblin from inside here. I don't think I want to do that. That would use all of Gale's movement. So I don't think I'm interested in doing it. Let's see if they're going to move out. So yeah. So the trackers moved inside, and they moved into a very interesting location. let's see if Lae'zel can jump down in here or not. This is where you try and get the camera to work. Okay, path is interrupted. Okay, so we can jump down here. That will use about half of our movement speed. Okay, but now we can get up behind this tracker and hopefully end this with a 70% chance to hit. Okay. So now you can see on our mini-map, we have highlighted another enemy. We do have a sleeping bugbear out here. And I think we're going to hide and make our way out there. And we'll just take care of this before we start our looting of the area. Okay, now he's sleeping, so we'll move up behind him and get a critical hit attack. Whenever an enemy is sleeping, your first attack is going to have advantage, and it's going to be a guaranteed crit. So you can take advantage of that in single target bonus damage by making sure you get your highest dealing characters in there first to deal that high damage crit. So we do have some camp supplies here. We'll have Lae'zel pick these up. Been doing some drinking. And we will do some searching around here. And these are all going to go to Gale for now to be able to sell later on. Okay. And we've got some rotten fish, which doesn't do anything for us. So we can head back over here to this crate. Okay. And now we do have another area over here, which we are going to be exploring here in just a second. But first, let's head over here toward this table area.
Weapon designs. The work of a Malar. A smith, as the locals say.
Okay. So we do have some blueprints that are up here on the wall, which we can take. Okay, we do have a wooden trunk here. Okay, nothing here. So, looking at our inventory, we can read. Okay, so we can't read those. We'll pick up more information about that when we get into another area over here. Okay, nothing here is high value, so we don't need it. And we can make our way back around the side here, and we have a skeleton. Okay, holding Alt, you can see that we have a heavy key. Now that heavy key is down below us inside. So we'll be dealing with that later. And we can do some searching of these crates, more camp supplies. We don't need the bottle. In early access, of course, we don't need the bottle. That doesn't mean that they won't be useful for something in the full version. We have a pretty expensive plate we can pick up. Okay. And now, from Gale's perspective, we can search a couple of goblin bodies up here. Okay, so we can pick this up and we'll send the supply camp off, and we have a goblin here that we have knocked out. So let's just go take care of them. Okay, and again, when you're knocked out, that first hit's an automatic crit. But with only one hit point, doesn't really matter.
Still breathing.
Okay,
Despite
so
everything.
now over here, we can, I think what we're going to do is kind of split this into two halves here. So I think we're just going to move everybody back over here. And we'll kind of head off and exploring over to our right, the east side. Or the north side, in this case, of this village.
Never wanted the easy path.
And we'll do that by first going inside of this building. We have a door here.
Cursed to put my hands on everything.
Okay, and that leads you inside this building here. Holding Alt, you can see that we have a note up here. We have another bottle up there on the shelf. We have a wooden barrel we can search. Okay, we already have a shovel. Okay, nothing else that we can see in here by holding Alt, so we'll move into this room. Okay, some low value items that we don't need to pick up. More of the same. And nothing there. So over here, we do have some weapons that we can pick up. There's a spear. There's a battle axe. We can search this crate. Again, nothing of importance. And here is an old key. So we will search here. Nothing. So we'll pick up the old key by holding Alt. Then up here on top, you can see that there's a dagger. And last, we can search the wooden barrel here. Okay, nothing there that we want. So now we can go over here and we can search the Goblin Tracker. Okay, now at this point you can see we have a calcified web here. Now, webs are flammable, so if we get Gale to cast a firebolt on it, it removes it, and we can jump down into this area from here. Okay, it's one of the ways to get into this area, but we don't have to. We have another way down into that area.
Very well.
That doesn't involve us jumping down there and taking damage. And that's by coming around this way and looking at the shabby wooden doors. Now they're locked. Okay, but they are opened by the old key that we picked up. Okay, so now down in here again we have more searching of crates that we can do. And again, holding Alt, you can see that there's a book that we are going to pick up. We also have some sacks that we can search, and again, you're not going to find much in these right now. But as I've said multiple times, don't ever overlook searching them. Just get in the habit of doing it. So that when the full game comes out, you're not missing items. Or treasures that may be hidden in these type of things.
What's hiding here?
Okay, so the cupboard we can look at. More gold. We do have a trap disarm kit. Can't do any, we don't need any more of them. We can sell it But at this point, we'll just send it off to Gale to sell later on. Okay, same thing with the thieves' tools. Astarion does not need them, so we will just have Gale sell those off. Oops. And we can head down farther into this area. There's a dagger. And heading around the corner, we can turn on all of the torches if you'd like. You can use those to light up the area. More thieves' tools. Again, at this point, just for Gale to sell. And we do have a bunch of sacks and other items like that that we can search down here. Okay. And I'm going to save searching all the bottle racks. There's not going to be anything in them. But again, make sure you do search them when you get into the full version of the game, because you just don't know what might be there and what might not be. Okay, so heading down this area right here is where the calcified web leads you down to. So if you jump down, you end up in here. But again, like I said, the only reason you would do that is if you don't have any way to pick this door. Because you can jump down there, and then you can use the lever to unlock the door on your way out. So, if you don't have a party with anybody that has lockpicking abilities, you can still get in here using the jump down from the calcified web. Okay?
Wish I had a bag of holding.
Alright, so nothing else here. We do have some camp supplies. And doesn't look like any of the plates or anything are high value. Okay, sorry, we do want to take the rapier here. Okay, so we did pass a perception check and learn that this chest is trapped, which is good. Okay, so now with Astarion, we're going to have him go disarm this chest first. Now, we have a lot of bonuses here. But remember that this is using a trap disarm kit, but if you fail it, you don't get another chance. It fails disarming the trap and it's going to activate. So if you fail it, the only recourse you have is one of your inspirations. We've only got one of those left, so just keep that in the back of your mind, that even though I had very little chance of failing this, you still want to make sure that the only way you can fail it's with a natural one. So throw everything at it that you can to keep it from going off. So 1 piece of gold, and we do have High Cliff's blueprints. Okay, and we will look at those here in a second. I'm going to split the group and take Astarion up here to the top. Okay, and looking at this wooden chest, again, we need to lockpick it. Getting a higher DC here. Guidance is still active. Okay, so we have the steel forged sword. Which we're just going to put on Astarion for now. And we can pick up some other items for Gale to sell. And we don't need the smoke powder barrel, so we can come back down and join everybody back up. So what we picked up there, and we can move and get rid of some of these items here that we do not need to keep carrying around. Okay, so what we picked up was High Cliff's blueprints, and sorry, we do have some other items. That's Volo's book that we want to save. Okay, I'm just doing a quick look through the inventory real quick. So High Cliff's blueprints, if we double click on them, it brings up an entry that says that you can craft 3 different weapons: a greatsword, a sickle, or a dagger. And it says that you need an unusual ingredient, susser bark. Okay. So when you've got that, that now starts the quest, finish the Masterwork weapon. And we're going to... Yeah, if only I knew where to find susser bark. So there was an insight check there. If you don't pass it, you don't know where to find it, but you're going to learn where to find it really quickly here. So it's not a big deal if you don't pass that check. So more thieves' tools. A lot more thieves' tools. Okay, there's a short sword here we can pick up. Another one over here. Okay, so we have a battle axe. And more thieves' tools. Okay.
Press ahead.
Now we can come across to this side.
I think I found something.
Okay, and our investigation turned up this cracked wall here. So again, we can pick up some additional thieves' tools that we want to sell later, holding all that we have left as torches. So you can see here we have a melting furnace. So if you click on it once, it lights it up. If you then click on the bellows, it really lights it up. And now if you click on the furnace itself, you're able to combine an item into the furnace. Okay, we don't have any of the items that we want to use. This is where you would put one of those 3 weapons: a greatsword, a sickle, or a dagger. We might have some of those weapons right now. We have a greatsword, and we're going to let Lae'zel carry that one for now. We have a dagger. We don't have a sickle in our inventory, but it doesn't really matter. We're not crafting those weapons now anyway because we don't have susser bark. Okay, but this is where you will be completing that quest farther on down the road. Okay, so now we have a cracked wall here, so we can see this cracked wall does not have any toughness, so we should be able to damage it with any weapon. Okay.
No one back home will ever
And now coming into this area here.
Moving ahead.
We are now into the Whispering Depths. Okay. Now the Whispering Depths is a...
Better be careful. Those webs carry vibrations.
Okay, so we did pass a check and we learned about these spider webs. So there are spider webs throughout all of this area, and it says that it's difficult terrain, so our movement speed is cut in half. But we also will have to pass a saving throw, a dexterity saving throw, or else we're going to become enwebbed. It says they're also flammable, so if they get hit with fire, they will burn away instantly. And what that means is that if you're standing on them and they catch fire, they're going to burn away, and whatever's on it is going to take fall damage. Okay, so you have to be kind of careful when you're moving around these areas that are in here. And like I say, we're going to come back to the Whispering Depths. We're not going to explore it right now. We're going to continue on with the Blighted Village. And we're going to come back to this area a little bit later on. So for now, we can just head back up. Actually, we don't want to. Yes, we want to head back into here. And you can see off to our right here, there's another path, and that's up here. You can kind of see it. You can actually path your way up there once the cracked wall is open, and it's going to lead you all the way through the through the Whispering Depths to get up there. But you can also jump your way up there. Okay, and your characters will climb up on top of the crates and jump up there. Okay, and this is another way to enter the Whispering Depths, and this is actually the way that we will be entering the Whispering Depths because it keeps us on the high ground. So, but we're not going to do it for now. But remember, now we've got two ways into the Whispering Depths: through the cracked wall and up by climbing up here into this area. So just keep that in mind.
Let's see.
And we're going to head back out. Okay, and we're going to continue around this side of the village, the north side. By heading around over here where we downed the Bugbear, and we're going to head through this break in the wall here. Okay. So we do have a loose boulder here, and you can throw it from here, but we're not going to. We're just going to move it out of the way. We're going to do that with most of these boulders just to make sure there's nothing underneath of them. So just kind of like when we found the Amulet of Sylvanas underneath a rock, it's the same type of thing here. You want to make sure that you're checking all of those movable objects to make sure there's nothing underneath them. Okay, we can make our way around the back, and you can see this is one of those ways to get down to an area we've already been. So there's nothing back here. It just opens up the map around the backside of this structure. Okay, and we can make our way around here to the front. And we have some barrels that we can search. Okay. We have a crate. And then over here, we have another boulder. Okay, so she can't move it.
Eager for battle.
Can Lae'zel move it? Doesn't look like it. Let's kind of bring everybody back over here. We'll split the group and we'll take Lae'zel back. Okay, so she can't move it, so let's have her click on it. And she can throw it. We can throw it all the way over here. Okay. And again, doesn't look like there's anything underneath of it. So now you can look up top up here.
How farther can I go?
Okay, and you can see that we have some camp supplies we can pick up here. And we have some barrels we can look through, and as expected, more camp supplies. Okay, we do have another loose boulder up here. And we also have a dagger inside of a hide of roasted meat.
Hello again.
So we're going to get Astarion to click on this.
A feast fit for an ogre. You notice
Okay, it says a feast fit for an ogre. Remember that.
Protruding from the tough, leathery meat.
Okay, so now we have some options here. We can look at investigation and see if there's some trick to removing the dagger first. It's a 15 DC. Okay, and massive failure.
The dagger is tightly embedded in the carcass. You notice nothing unusual.
Okay, so now we do have sleight of hand, and this is why you have Astarion do this, is because of all of the bonuses that he gets from having proficiency and expertise with sleight of hand. So again, a 15 DC, we've got guidance plus all of our other bonuses.
cautious method pays off. The dagger glides smoothly out of the mystery meat.
Okay, so we did receive a dagger, and it is of the rare type, it says. So let's go look at our inventory, and you can see we picked up just a dagger +1. We already have a dagger +1, but however, when you look at this, you can see that the damage here... No, it's just weapon enchantment +1. It's the same thing. So here we have 2 to 5. If we swap this out, it's again 2 to 5. So nothing changed here for Astarion, but we did pick up the Steel Forged Sword. This is a short sword +1 that's also light and finesse. We also have a short sword +1 in our main hand, so swapping that out doesn't change anything. It just gives us a named, quote-unquote, a Steel Forged Sword instead of just a short sword +1 in our main hand, but doesn't really matter. We could change both of these out because short swords are both light and finesse, so that gives us a straight upgrade in our offhand damage over the dagger +1. Okay, and remember, this 6 to 9 damage is showing what it would be for my paladin to wield it, not for what Astarion gets to wield it. Okay, so this is a 1d4, this is a 1d6 +1. Both of them are +1, so it's 1d4 +1 versus 1d6 +1. So, and as for the rest of it, we can transfer these short swords over. We can send the mugwort to camp. And now we're pretty much back where we were. Okay.
All right. What now?
So, heading back down here, we're going to split the group again. And we're going to leave our Druid and Lae'zel down here.
Keep your distance, darling.
We're going to take Astarion up here. And we're going to put him in hiding.
Ready or not.
And we're going to take Gale and we're going to put him up here. And again, go into hiding.
At least things have stayed interesting.
And now we are going to interact with the shabby wooden doors here.
As you approach, a guttural scream and a succession of quick bangs rattle the door. Then, a low moan. Someone, or something, is having a bit of fun.
Okay, so now we have some options here on what to do. Someone, or like it says, something, is having some fun inside here.
Go away!
Okay, so we were told pretty emphatically to go away, but we're not going to.
What the hell are you doing?
Ruined. Smash. Oh, smash you!
Okay, so this puts us into combat, and unfortunately we rolled really badly. Okay. So we are into combat with both of them, and we are within melee range, so if we try and leave, we're going to invoke attacks of attacks of opportunities from them both. So since we are on such low hit points here, we are going to use our action to disengage here. Okay. We're going to move away as far as we can.
Need to find a way forward.
And disengage prevents us from taking attacks of opportunity. And now we're going to use our bonus action to wild shape. Okay, now the reason we don't wild shape while we're in there is because the bear's going to take up this entire area inside the doorway here, and Lae'zel isn't going to be able to move in and perform any attacks. So what we want to do is bring them out here into this area so that we have more area for them, or to get around and to cause attacks to them. Them sitting inside here limits us on what we can and cannot do. So we're going to end our turn with that. And now Lae'zel's turn. And again, we don't want to go in there to attack them. We want to bring them out here, but we also want to know how far they can move. So if you examine, you can see that the movement speed here is 9 meters. The movement speed on the Ogre is 12 meters. So you can see that right now, Lae'zel is 9 meters or so away from both of them. So we need to make sure that we move her back to get outside of that range. But we're going to do that after we make a hamstring shot here. We're going to try and reduce the movement speed on the Ogre. Okay, so they are hamstrung, so that's good. They can only move 6 meters, which means that the Ogre might not be able to get out here far enough to attack my Druid. The Bugbear's going to. They're going to have enough range, but we want to make sure that they're not able to attack us, you know, both. So we're going to move Lae'zel back out here. That's far enough away that if the Bugbear wants to attack Lae'zel, he's going to have to dash to do it. Okay. So now, again, Astarion and Gale are not detected yet. And for part of that, we can take advantage of the fact that they're both in here. And we can cast Cloud of Daggers here. Right outside the front door. Okay. Now, that means that for them to come out, they're going to have to walk through it. Which I can handle. That's free damage. And we're going to leave Astarion right where he is. Okay, we're going to bring him into combat on his next turn. Okay, so let's go ahead and end Lae'zel's turn and give them... Now, with Gale, I want him to be way out of the way here. So we're going to jump Gale over here on top. And we want that concentration to keep running, to keep going. We don't want him to take any hits from either of these enemies. So we want to keep him out of line of sight. Okay, so good. Buthir's going to dash, which is good. She takes damage going through the Cloud of Daggers. Ruko takes damage, comes out and attacks my Druid, which is perfectly fine. Okay, so now from here, I think we're going to... I'm going to focus my Druid's attacks here on Gruko. Yes. Okay, so missed. So I'm going to spend a spell slot here just to get some hit points back. Alright. And now Lae'zel has some opportunities here, so let's get her into this fight. So she's going to move up. She's going to instantly do a menacing attack on Buthir. Okay, huge damage. We're going to take her action surge. And we're going to do another one straight off the bat. Oh, and she missed. Okay. So, at that point, we will take a healing wind just because why not? Gets her back to full hit points. And now we're back to Gale and Astarion. So we definitely want to get rid of... Well, we've got a couple of different options here on how we want to approach the rest of this. So we definitely want to take out one of those two if we can't get rid of them both.
Really?
So let's look at Astarion here.
Quietly.
So he's got the high ground. And for his sneak attack ranged, he's got a 96% chance to hit here, and he's got advantage. And here we've got a 99% chance to hit from here. So our chances of killing, there's 14 hit points left here and 16 hit points left here. We're 8 to 25. So again, from here, we're at about a 2/3% chance to kill with Bathir, and about the same with Gruko. So let's just make an attack on Bathir and see if we can manage to get a kill here. Okay, so we didn't, but we took her down to very low hit points. And now Gale is next to act. Okay, and he can't do anything with that tree in his way. So let's see if we can move up somewhere
Swiftly now.
where that is not the case. And we don't care if his concentration goes away now. So with Magic Missile we can cast... Let's cast 2 here. We definitely want to get a kill here. And we'll cast a 3rd one here. Right, and now the Bugbear is going to get a chance to attack, and he's going to attack my Druid. Okay, now I get to reciprocate. And ouch. Okay, so we can remove the Cloud of Daggers.
My magic.
We can bring Gale down here to the bottom. Oh yeah, we need to jump him across first, so we'll bring Astarion down here.
Seek and you shall find me.
And now we can bring him down.
Things feel different.
And we'll take Gale in here to do some searching inside of here. Okay, so holding Alt, we have a book, some crates and barrels that we can search. Okay, the book was Tales of Bumpo. And this might be Bumpo dead here. We can pick up the pork loin and continue searching on. Okay. Holding Alt, we have another book. I think this book is outside, though. So we'll deal with that here in a minute. And we'll search this last item here. So now we're going to bring...
Still alive, so that's progress.
...our Druid in here. And we're going to dismiss our wild shape. And we're going to change our amulet. And we're going to see if we can cast Speak with the Dead on the corpse, and we can't.
The corpse remains silent.
Okay, so doesn't look like it allowed us to do that, so let's head up here and do some searching. We do have another boulder here. We can move out of the way. Nothing underneath of it. Let's just try... Okay, so it can't speak, so nothing we can do there. We can cast Speak with the Dead on both of these two, however.
The corpse seems willing to speak, but not to its killer.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm not going to be able to speak here, because I killed him in animal shape, but Doesn't look like it's going to work here to talk to either one of them. So we'll bring everybody back together in a group, and we can take a short rest. That's going to get my wild shape back. It's also going to get Lae'zel's action surge back and her pommel strike as well. So, okay, so now we can continue on looking around this area over here, and we do have a wooden barrel. Nothing. And we can continue to make our way slowly down this path here. Okay, and that's a good reminder I need to be saving. Okay, and here we're going to break the group. We're going to get Astarion cast guidance on our Druid.
No one stopped me yet.
She's going to head up here. Okay, and her perception check failed. So now we'll have Astarion cast guidance on himself. And he will go up here, and we'll just do this one by one and see if anybody can make the perception check. Okay, nope. And here we go with this again.
Someone needs help, I see.
Try with Lae'zel.
Objective noted.
Okay, so she managed to find the dirt mound. And some gold and just some items to sell. So now we can group everybody back up.
Let's move. What path lies before me?
And we can go over here and we can look at this area. Okay, now this area farther to the north here on the map we are definitely going to be exploring, but not right now. This is the Risen Road area of the map, and there are a couple of different fairly important encounters that we want to deal with in this area. Just not right now, and we'll get to that area by just jumping across this broken bridge. We're just not going to do it right now. We're going to continue on with the Blighted Village and our explorations inside here. Okay. So now we can come up here to this side, and you can see we're starting to get some objects on our map. Okay, so you can see there's a warg up here. We've got some goblins that are here. And you can see we had a gnome that was sitting up there. So we don't want to walk up this way. We want to put ourselves in a more advantageous position than that. And we can do that by coming in through the doors here. But while we're doing this, we also want to put everybody in hiding. Okay. So when you come in here, this is where we were with the Bugbear. This is the building that we searched previously. We now have another building over here, and the goblins are up here on top, and you can start to see how many more of them there are than you originally thought. Okay. And we have some options on how we want to approach this. Okay. So you can see the detection cones are kind of shifting a little bit as we have more of these goblins and the wargs and everybody over here. So what we want to do is again split the group here. And we're going to take Gale and move him up top. And you can do that just by having him path up here. Whoops. Gale, climb back up. Pathing in this game. Okay, so now we want the roof to be showing as solid when we path up here. And we're going to move him kind of over here onto the other side of the crest of the roof, just to kind of get him as far back as we can. And we're going to do the same thing with Astarion. Okay, now Astarion's going to be a little different in that, of course, we're going to be using Astarion to trigger this, so we're just going to move him up here to this location. Now, as far as Lae'zel and my Druid go, we're going to... I think we might play this a little different. So we're going to put Lae'zel down here, and we're going to move Dorvalin around the back here, I think. Okay. And I have something that I want to try here with this, and we'll see how well it works out when it comes to Lae'zel. But again, for now, we're going to trigger this off with Astarion, and again, see if he has any sneak attack abilities here. So looking at where he's at, he can make a sneak attack range from over there on the other side of the chimney, which is perfectly fine with us. We don't care. Or he can make a sneak attack on this tracker from right where he's at. So the sharp eye here, he'd have about a 75 or 80% chance to kill, but it's disadvantage on the attack. Here, with this one, who's going to move back up here in a second, we have a much higher chance to hit, you can see. We've got disadvantage because they're still outside normal range, but one of them was moving back up here. So we'll see if they move back up here onto this spot, and if they do, then we can trigger things with an attack here. Yep. So there we go. So now we're 98% chance to hit, and this will be a kill if it hits. Okay. So from here, we're going to put him back into hiding. And people are going to want to come investigate. And let's take on Fezzerk here. Okay. We can try and go back into hiding.
Nobody's listening.
And take on Fezzerk again.
As the symbol glows, power.
Okay, so I can use this symbol on them. Okay, so I can use the tadpole, and I said I was going to do this. So we'll use our tadpole ability as much as we can. We don't need to add any bonuses to it. This is going to get us out of attacking them, but we're just really doing it to use our tadpole as much as we can. Okay, so they recognize us as a true soul, so they're going to let us off.
Something stirs deep within you, hungry and alert. It's taking something you'll never get back.
Okay. So they're going to let us off without doing anything, and we're just going to turn right around and do that again. Okay. So that kills Fezzerk. His stealth is so good that he's not getting seen, so now we'll just go up here and we'll try a sneak attack ranged here.
Speak good.
Okay. So we're doing really well with one-shots and not getting seen.
Speak good.
So let's... Okay, so Lae'zel got seen there. So let's put Lae'zel back into hiding. And I'm going to try and jump her up here. and see if that triggers anything. It does not. So she has not been seen. I'm just going to kind of move her up here. And again, I think I'm going to come out of hiding to trigger this attack.
Deep gnome flew so high.
Okay, so his stealth is just successful. Alright, so he continues to roll really well on his stealth. So we're just going to... Oh, there he goes. Okay. So now combat has started. He rolled fairly well in his initiative. Okay, so we can get him dashed back up top, up here. We can see if he can hide the detect. He's fairly close, so I don't know if the detection cones are going to allow it. I can actually move back a bit farther. See if I can hide back here. I can. So now I'm going to move over here. Try and make a sneak attack ranged from here. Okay, so he's been blessed. We've got disadvantage on the attack. But because of advantage of hiding, it's going to cancel out. Okay, that was a critical miss. So now we're going to move him back a little bit. Just to get him out of line of sight as much as we can.
Nice and quiet now.
And now let's look at the other options that we have. Because Lae'zel is behind enemy lines, so to speak. You see, she's back behind everybody. This detection cone for the Devout, however, is covering most of this area. However, it looks like we have a path around that here. So let's take Lae'zel down here. And we will move her all the way around the back of the lighthouse, or of the windmill, and take this path over here and see if we can get within melee range of the Devout. Pretty sure we can. Well, this might cause us an issue here, but let's see. So we can get a little closer. Are we within range? We are. So let's make sure that we do a menacing attack to maximize our damage. Okay. Now she was not detected during any of that. She got her one hit in, so now let's go after this warg here. Who's again blessed. Okay. And not entirely sure why that's not entering her into combat, but I don't want to cheese this too much, I guess. So let's move out here. And we will cast Spike Growth. Kind of right here. Okay. She was not seen when she cast that, but then she was seen when I moved back around. I should have hidden her before I did that, but Oh well. And then Gale is again up here up top. He's outside of range of everybody. But let's see what his range on his 18-meter spells are like. So he still can hit the Devout from there. So let's just go ahead and try that. Okay, so that removes the Devout, so now the Bless goes away, which is all good. So now we'll end the turn and let them get theirs. Okay, something's glitched about this a little bit because Lae'zel is not being seen here. So we're now going to move back up, so we're going to dash before we move. We're going to move back up here and see if anybody's in range. Can we hide up here?
Time for a new approach.
We can. And we'll do a sneak attack on the tracker. Okay, and now we will move back out of range again. So now all that's left is the warg here.
Still on my feet.
And from here, there's not a whole lot that we want to do. Okay, so Thorn Whip isn't going to do any good there. So we can't make a ranged attack from where we are, so we'll just move kind of out here. See if we can make a ranged attack from here. Low % chance to hit, but low's better than none. Okay, and we did get a hit. Okay, so now Lae'zel is in the fight. And now from here, I don't think there's any need to use any more spell slots from Gale. So we'll just end his turn here. Well, we can move up and see if he's within range of a cantrip, I guess. And he is. 80% chance to hit.
On the dub.
Okay. That worked. So now we will remove the concentration on spike growth. And we can group everybody else up down here.
No rest for the wicked, I see.
And while we're here,
Shouldn't have wished to live in more
we can cast Speak with the Dead here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Hostages, the absolute ones. Hostages. The towers. The absolute sea shouts us. Many, so many legions of goblins and more serving the absolute. No valuables, only hostages.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, so again, we learned some valuable information there. Basically, that all bad things are coming from Moonrise Towers, is basically what we're starting to learn here. So let's do some searching while we're here. Okay, and we picked up a very heavy great axe. And we'll take a look at that here in a second. There's a grease bottle and another smoke powder bomb. Careful with those things, they're very heavy. So make sure that somebody's able to carry them. Okay, and now we're going to move up here and kind of get into this area where the windmill is. So let's take care of the bodies first.
Breathe.
Okay, and we have another body here we can't quite reach, so we'll use Alt to search it. Barbecue Devout over here.
Help!
Okay, so some arrows of acid will go nicely on Astarion. Goblin bow we can just sell.
Stop this thing!
Okay, so we do have a mauled sheep down here that we can search for some camp supplies.
Help!
And while we're at it, we can look through our pickups here and see if there are any more camp supplies that need to be sent off. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, so I think we're okay. We didn't read this here. So it looks like there were some guardians that were supposedly sent from Elturel to protect the borders. But don't be fooled. They never bent any knee to Elturgard, and I never asked anyone to come looking over. So it says that they were originally Selenite worshippers. They call themselves Hell Riders. I call them interlopers. This is, again, the Hell Riders were the tieflings that approached, or that were out, that we dealt with previously in the Druid's camp. So that learns you a little bit more of the lore, and you can see that we have a gnome here who's kind of circling around here, and it's easier to click on him if you go into turn-based mode, but so let's see if we can. Okay. Turn-based mode put him up here, so it kind of skipped.
Oh, enough waiting. I crave blood.
This thing!
Okay, and then he's still not visible to us. Okay, and then he's going to be coming around again. I don't think this time, but I think the next time he should be around for us. So I think here he should be down here at the bottom.
Help!
Okay, and he's not. Okay, so let's leave turn-based mode and
help.
Oh, yeah, we can't click on him yet. That's entirely my mistake. Yeah, there's a reason we can't click on him yet. And that's my fault. So first, let's explore this wooden hatch here. Okay, this takes us down into a basement area underneath the windmill, and we have some burlap sacks and some crates that we can search down here. And there's also a heavy wooden chest. There's a pitchfork. Okay, so it doesn't look like the chest is trapped in any way.
Well, that ends bad as it could have.
An arrow of ice. Always nice for Astarion. A scroll of chill touch, which can go to Gale. And the speedy light feet. Now, we're going to pick these up and just kind of store these for now, but we'll look at them so we can see what they do here in a second. Okay, some more camp supplies here. And we picked up some smoke powder satchels. We will send those to Lae'zel as well. Okay, more items to search down here. Not a whole lot to find. Okay, but you definitely want to come down here for the speedy light feet. You can move this out of the way. And there's nothing back here or underneath it or anything in early access. But again, remember, you can move it. You can move all of these items. You can pick them up and move them around. So don't ever forget that. You can find hidden, possibly find hidden things behind them when you're out searching around. So
Don't waste a step.
we can come around back here. You can see we have a studded shield that we can pick up. Okay, and then we do not have Shadowheart in our party to make a comment about what's happening here. But it's a Selûnite statue that has been beheaded, or has been broken here. Now we can come around this side, which we've already been with Lae'zel, and we're going to break the party here. And come inside the windmill. Now inside the windmill, we do have some sacks and stuff down here on the bottom that we can search. Okay, holding Alt, nothing else down here. We can climb up. And up here at the top, we have a goblin bow and a goblin scimitar that we can pick up. There's also a makeshift spear. And we have a wooden crate that has camp supplies and some alchemist fire, and another grease bottle. Okay, and nothing else up here. Well, there's a burlap sack that we can search, but nothing else up here. So let's head back down here. And we have two levers here. So one is release break and one is break. So we want to apply the brake. Okay. Now we can head back out here. Group everybody up. And now our gnome has stopped turning.
Help me down!
And he's out here. So now we can talk to him.
Cut me loose! Ugh, Magacamara. Those pustulant thugs. Well, get on with it. You saved me, now you'll extort me. That's how this works, yes? My own fault, really. I should have dropped my pack and outrun those bastards. Alas. Take my pack, if you can find it. The only reason those goblins caught me was its weight. I'll travel lightly from now on. Ignorance is alive and well, it seems. Deep gnomes aren't restricted to the Underdark, you know. I've lived in Baldur's Gate for years. I'm in search of a friend. I fear he's in trouble. See this? I gave it to him years ago before I left home. I found it around the neck of a thug in the lower city. It was speckled with blood. My friend, nowhere to be found. But I still have hope. I have reason to believe he's in the Underdark. Hopefully, I'll pick up his trail from there. I always help my friends. On that note, I bid thee farewell. If we should meet again, well, we will have met again.
Okay, so we did pick up another inspiration, which we definitely needed. We also have been told to look out for his pack that is somewhere around. So, looking at our inventory, we can do a little bit more cleanup here. And remember, we picked up the Speedy Light Feet. Again, the Speedy Light Feet are something that needs lightning charges, just like the Sparkle Hands here. When the wearer has lightning charge, or when the Speedy Light Feet allow you to gain lightning charges when you dash during combat. So, the Spring Step Boots give us momentum when we dash. But now the Speedy Light Feet are going to give us lightning charges whenever we dash. And lightning charges give us a bunch of other bonuses that we can utilize as we gain more gear. Because now we could put the Sparkle Hands on Astarion if we wanted to. And as he dashes, he's going to gain lightning charges. And then he's going to have +1 to any strength and dexterity checks as long as he has those lightning charges. Now, he doesn't need those. The Gloves of Power are very important for him. So, gaining lightning charges is going to benefit his damage that he can output. But at the same time, we don't need to use those lightning charges for anything like the Sparkle Hands yet. They don't really make any sense to do it. So, as far as using them on somebody who dashes a lot, we don't really have anybody else who dashes normally in combat. It's Astarion. So at this point, Astarion is going to gain lightning charges. He's going to gain that +1 damage from his lightning charges. He also gains athletics +1 by wearing these boots. But it's not really going to do anything for him. Now, the other thing is he's not proficient with those because they are medium armor. So, I think at this point, we're probably better off here. Not using them for anybody. I'm just looking around to see, because I'd have to replace the Linebreaker boots. Because Wrath gives you a +1 bonus to melee damage. As opposed to gaining Athletics +1 and +1 to damage from the lightning charges. So this is 6 of one, half dozen the other, as far as they're concerned. So right now, we don't have a whole lot of use for them. Just making sure, but we'll keep them for now, on us for now, just to kind of see how things go. And if we find a use for them as we proceed through this. So now here, looking at our map, we've pretty much cleared out. Looking at our map here, you can see we've pretty much cleared out the north and the west sides. We're saving going across the bridge. So now we can head here to the south and the southwest sides of this area. Okay? And to do that, and we're going to head back down this way, and we're going to go into hiding. Because we have a goblin on patrol here.
Now what?
And we're going to split the group and bring Astarion down here. And we're going to sneak attack him. Okay, and that ends that. Now, while Astarion's down here... Nah, we might as well take everybody when we do this.
Don't waste a
Okay, so we're going to bring everybody down here, and we're going to head around this corner, and we're going to clear out this side of the map before we do any more looting of this area. So we did discover the rune circle, which is good. And now we're going to kind of make our way over here. This is where that goblin was patrolling. Was here on this side. Now you can see we have a marker on our map. And heading down this way is the Goblin Camp, where we've already been. Okay? But here on our map, we opened up these 3 ogres. Now, there are multiple ways to deal with this encounter, because you see they're not hostile right now. So we can interact with them. We can go up and we can talk to them. And you can make some persuasion, or you can make some checks during the conversations to be able to try and get an item. Okay. And I'm being a little vague in that I am going to go ahead and take a second short rest just to get the rest of my hit points back, because I'm going to do that. But there's no guarantee it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to be right in the middle of all 3 of these ogres when it happens. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a quick save. Okay, and we're going to split this group, I think. And we're going to put everybody else in hiding back here.
Into the shadows. You've got the wrong man for this.
Okay, so they are looking at a dead tiefling here that they have killed. We really shouldn't let them go, but I haven't shown you a playthrough where you try and get this item yet, so I'm going to head out this way and see if we can talk to Lump the Enlightened.
That might be worth a look.
Okay, so we did perceive that there are some support beams here that are cracked. Those support beams allow us to make some attacks against them by basically bringing the roof down, so to speak. Alright, but first let's go talk to Lump the Enlightened.
Fortune favors my belly, for there is no meat more succulent than a stranger's. Stranger, be you friend or food, the mark is her measure. Show us the brand of the absolute.
Okay, so I am branded here, so we're going to go ahead and show them the brand. You can make some other checks here, if you're not branded.
I see it. How regrettable that your meat must go unsavored. Now speak, or go, before my cravings conquer me. Am I not astonishing? A robust diet makes for a shrewd mind, you see. I am a gourmand, and you, a delicacy. Were I so lucky? I've no use for the Absolute, or any god. I follow 2 masters only, gluttony and greed. The goblins understand my appetites. They sate my hunger for gold. And the rest sate my hunger for meat. I simply look for marks, gold, as more than sufficient compensation.
Okay, now here's your option.
I am, by all accounts, a student of higher commerce and extortion. Make me an offer. Tempt me.
Okay, so 500 gold here is if I can call you into battle. Or you can make persuasion checks or a deception check to do this. So either straight up 500 or your options here are to do these. Now these are charisma based. I don't have any charisma options to do it. So if you bring a high charisma character in here, so if Will is in your party or something like that, or you're playing as a high charisma character, then you'll have bonuses to these checks. I don't have any bonuses. I can use guidance here, but I also have a lot of gold on me right now. So I can just give him 500 gold straight up, because if I fail these, it's going to lead to a fight. So I'm just going to give him the 500.
To my ears and a boon to my belly. We've a bargain, my tasty kibble. Take my bone horn. One blow and the ground will quake with my family name. Use it when the need arises, and never a moment before. I follow the sense of blood and gold to all lands fertile, friend. And this land proves particularly fruitful. I will keep close. When you are ready, sound the horn.
Okay, so they disappear afterward. Okay, I gained an inspiration and I received an item. Lump's Warhorn. So, if you look at your inventory, you have this item, and you can sound this horn to call Lump's frenzied band of ogres. So, this is a unique item that you can carry with you that is a one-time use item that if you get into a situation or a combat situation or something like that, you can blow this war horn and it will bring in that same group of ogres that just left here. It will call them in and they will fight for you. They will not necessarily for you, but with you, I would say. The item is also, the item isn't bugged. It works fine. It calls them in whenever, but whether or not they actually attack your enemies is another story. It's kind of bugged. Sometimes they pop in and they just stand there. They don't do anything. So it can be a little weird as far as whether or not it actually works. But one way or another, we picked it up. So now we can cast Speak with the Dead on this tiefling here.
The tiefling's corpse stirs with the spell. You realize the tiefling's body has been torn open by huge hands.
Strange warriors. Gold. Skin. The silver blades. Quick of foot this one to avoid Githyanki hunters. Mountains. Road. Gate. True sight. No coin. Ogres. Hungry. Bloodied. Screams.
Okay, so we met Zoru previously in the Druid's Grove. So you can see that again, we probably should not have let the ogres go. They are the ones responsible for a lot of this destruction out here, but it's just one of those things I wanted to show you how that portion of this can work. By picking up or getting that item that you're able to use later. So
Open up.
So now we can start searching for a few things here. And we'll switch to Gale and have him do some of this.
Someone's diary. Might explain what happened here.
The Folly in the Fall here is basically just a play. But you can pick it up and you can sell it. Okay, more camp supplies. Another salami weapon. We've already seen how effective that is.
Immediately.
Okay, and we do have some more books over here. Okay, so we can continue looking around. We have another book over here.
Yes, why not?
Okay, and we can go around the back here. And look around, and this is, again, area that we've already been out here. When we detoured around the Blighted Village to head to the Goblin Camp. And here we can head across here, and you see there's a backpack over here. Okay. Volo's Guide to Baldur's Gate.
Let's get going.
We're going to pick that up. Now again, that's 2 Volo's books that we have. We have his My Life Among the Goblin, the Conquering Host, and his Guide to Baldur's Gate here. So, don't know if in the full version of the game, you're going to be able to return those books to him in some way, or interact with those books and him in some way. But, again, it's good to know, that those books are there, and if they possibly can lead to more interactions in the full version. So, okay, so she can't move the books or the rock, but we will move everybody up here, and we'll split this and see if Lae'zel can move this. Okay, she can't move it, but she can throw it. And there's nothing underneath it.
Still breathing, despite everything.
And we do have another rock over here, and there's not anything under this rock either. Just to save you the time of doing it, but like I say, for now, there's not, but in the future, there might be. So just keep that in mind. And you saw on our map that we do have a couple of goblins over here outside. There's another rock here. Again, nothing else for now, but might be in the future. So we're going to hide everybody. We have a skeleton over here that we can search. And from here we have 2 goblins that are sitting outside. Okay, so we're going to be taking a long rest after we have cleared this out here. So there's no reason for me not to wild shape here. Okay, and now we will head out and just make an attack on this goblin. We don't want a goading roar. We want to just make a claw attack.
Let's get this over with.
Okay. Alright, so looks like he's summoned a ward companion here, and then he moved kind of off to the side. So we'll continue. If we move, we're not getting an attack of opportunity from the warg, it doesn't look like. Yeah, we are. Okay, so let's see if we can get a kill here. Okay, we can. So now let's move around in front of the warg. And now we will bring everybody else into this fight. So again, from here we have high ground, it looks like. So let's see if we can get Astarion onto the high ground. And we're gonna do that by just coming into here and moving out onto this platform area out here if we can. And see if we can attack the sharp eye here. Okay, so we can get out here. So let's see if we're within range. We are. So that had about a 75% chance to kill, and it did, and when that happened, that removed their companion as well. So, all good.
Everything looks new. Can't give up now.
And now I can dismiss my wild shape. And I can group everybody up. I don't need anybody hidden anymore, and I can come down and search these two. Okay, so that's going to finally overload Gale. We don't need any more basic poisons. Okay, so now we'll move back in here and we can start doing some searching around the center area. Actually, we can start searching out here.
No traps, please.
And then we'll move around to the center. Okay, so nothing here worth taking. A disarm kit that Gale can still sell. More camp supplies. Nothing here, and we can pick up this apple and continue heading around. And nothing out here we want. Search some more crates and barrels. Okay. And now we're going to move into this building here. Okay, so we have a barrel we can search. Nothing here. Crate. We do have an empty potion bottle, which we don't need. We can search these books. Continue searching the inside of this building. Okay, holding Alt. Nothing else shows up. We do have a crystal ball here. It's kind of cool. I expected it to be worth more than that. Okay, we do have some more coffee over here. And that's about it. So now we can go through the door. And we're in the Apothecary shop. Okay, so now from here...
Elminster's not around, so it might as well.
We have a lot of bookshelves and bottle racks, and so far there's nothing in these for us to use. We do have some other items, though, that we can pick up. So if you hold Alt, there's a whole lot of stuff here.
No time to rest.
Okay. So I'm just going to hold Alt, go around, and pick up all of these items. Okay, and there is an Apothecary's ledger here. We can read that. And it talks about a special delivery being made down to the cellar.
It says there's a cellar here somewhere.
And that opens up a new quest for us.
I don't see one.
Okay, so now kind of reorienting our camera and holding Alt. Okay, and just doing some searches for some of these baskets. Like I say, you're not going to find anything in any of the bottle racks or anything in early access. Again, doesn't mean that there won't be in the full version, though. Okay, always good for a potion of healing. Looking through the cupboard, and now you see that there's a wooden hatch down here. Okay, we can search the herb hangers, but again, nothing in them. And it mentioned a special delivery down here in this area. So we're going to head down in here. Okay, and we can do some searching down in here. So yeah, let's kind of just start here and we'll work our way clockwise around the room. So healing potions are always nice. Okay, we have... So, holding Alt here. Nothing showing up. Okay, we do have some barrels that we can continue to search through, and we do have a lot of small camp supplies here. Okay, so a lot of mushrooms.
Open up.
No, wispweed is not. And then we have a potion of healing up here. Right. And we'll move into this room. Right, and now the desk. Some more books. Okay, so nothing there. So now we're going to head over here to this side of the room. And again, we'll hold Alt here. Nothing shows up, but there's a potion of healing up here. Okay. We have some vases we can search. And some crates. Okay, holding Alt. Nothing else shows up. Okay, we do have some items on Alt over here. So we have some... Okay, there's garlic. We did pick up some items that we probably don't need here. Okay, holding Alt. We do have a chest. We do also have some other items down here. Okay, an elixir of acid resistance and an elixir of hill giant strength. Both very good. Poison resistance and another... Okay, and we do have a healer's log here, which we can read, and it talks about some patients that that they've had in the past that they've healed. Nothing really special here. So, looking at all the things that we've picked up, so dagger root is not anything that we need. So where are we? Oh, we do have some, I forgot, we had some camp supplies here. That's going to free up a little more space for him. The mugwort bundles we don't need. Yep, don't need any of those. Those can go to camp. We're going to keep one of these. We'll send this to our camp. These mugworts we don't need. They're not camp supplies at this point. Got a basic poison there, and we do have the healer's log. And that should fit over there too. Okay. And we can search here, and there's just water. Okay. Now we do have a quest marker down here. So it's telling us we explored this. We haven't explored any of this yet, so
Assume nothing.
let's grab Lae'zel, because there is a painting down here that we can pick up. Okay, we can search the desk. Nothing else. As we move over here to the bookcase. Okay, so her investigation failed.
I applaud your taste. Scratch marks on the floor.
Okay, so Gale finds some scratch marks on the floor. So if you kind of move your camera around, you can see that there's a doorway back behind this. Okay, so now we just have to find a way to open it. And we're going to have Lae'zel pick up this landscape as well. Okay, now we're going to come over here and search these crates. Okay, nothing here. However, remember what I said about being able to move these items. You can move them around. Hidden behind that crate is a lever. And that lever opens this back area. And this is what's has been stressed in previous versions of, or in previous Baldur's Gate games, and is now being shown to be very important in this version as well, is you really need to be exploring multiple different avenues for approaching any particular search or room. You need to be very thorough in what you're doing, and you need to be able to move things around and check behind things, because you're going to miss something. Okay, so I'm going to put everybody into hiding, and I'm going to toggle my group mode, and now I'm going to move my Druid out here, but I don't need to be in hiding to move out here. Okay. Moving through this room, I'm not going to touch anything yet. Okay, you can see that there are multiple caskets out here. There's also some items on the ground that you can pick up and books to read and that sort of stuff. I'm going to ignore all of this. And I'm going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to start searching these trunks and barrels. Okay, so nothing here. Holding Alt, there is some stuff down there. Okay, so nothing here. Now, there's a book down here. There's not the book I meant. There's a diary that we picked up. And I'm trying to find it. Okay, maybe I didn't pick it up. But there's a book that explains this encounter here that we're about to go through. And that's dealing with the ornate mirror here. We're going to click on the mirror. We're going to intentionally fail this encounter, and we're going to use that to our advantage. Okay, so let's just click on the mirror.
Speak your name. I do not know this name. If you are known to my master, step forward and declare yourself an ally. Only a true ally of Ilintoth may pass. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastan?
Okay, so you get a history check here, and I failed it. So you don't know what's happening here, but reading the book gives you some answers to this. This is the correct answer here. But we're going to answer this to intentionally fail this.
A poor choice. You will be purged.
Okay. And in doing that, I'm going to very quickly move myself back out the way that we came. And the reason for that is this sphere has come out and he's going to start exploding and burning all of this area. Okay, and as he's doing it, you can see that he's causing damage to things. Okay, and he's breaking all these caskets and that sort of stuff. And as he's doing that, these caskets opening up are freeing, and you saw just very quickly one of them there. It's freeing some undead back here. And it's doing damage to them while it's out here. And now it's going to calm down, and it's going to head back into the mirror. Okay? So now what we want to do is take Astarion into this room, still hidden. And you can see the detection cones, and you can see that how much damage it's caused to a lot of these enemies out here. If you just walk into this room, and it's actually killed this one here. If you just walk into this room and start clicking on the caskets, when you open one up, it will free one of these guardians, and if you don't kill it on your turn, it will go into the next casket and use its turn to free another guardian. And if you can't kill them fast enough, you can get very quickly overwhelmed down here with a lot of enemies, because there's one here, 2, 3, 4, 5. The dead one makes 6. So there's at least 6 or 7 undead down here in this area. So here we're going to take this kind of slow. We're going to get our first sneak attack here. And see if we can get a kill here. It's about 70% chance of getting a kill. Okay, so we did. He's going to go back into hiding. Okay. So we got a kill, but he was seen. So they are surprised. These two are no longer surprised, but these two are still surprised. So we're going to try and focus on these two here as much as we can. So we can probably still hide here. We can. We're going to dash with him just to get his movement speed up. We're going to move out here, and we should be able to get a sneak attack ranged on this one. And that was outstanding. Got a crit there, which took out the full health one there. And now we're going to move back and move back around this corner. And I think I'm going to actually try and do this just with Astarion. That might be kind of interesting. So we still have a little movement left, so let's move him farther around the corner. Okay, so this one's going to dash. Okay, and now I can... Okay, so here he is. He's not facing me at all. So we're going to dash again. We're going to be in hiding. We're going to move out here, which takes half my movement. And get a sneak attack here. Okay. And now these two are farther down here and up on this ledge. So they're going to have to move to get down here if they can't see me. So I want to make sure that they can't see me.
Let's go.
So I'm going to move back over here. And they're going to have to dash to come down here to get within range of me. Okay, so that one stayed up, which is perfectly fine. That makes it a little easier for me. So now I'm going to hide, see where the detection cone is. Not a problem. So now I'm going to get a sneak attack ranged here. Perfect. Okay, and now that one's still left up top, so I'm just going to move back here into this corner and end my turn. And it's going to dash and try and move down here to get close to me. And again, we're going to do the same thing. Just rinse it and repeat it. And this is really starting to show you, if it hasn't already shown you previously, how dangerous a pure rogue is. Okay? That just illustrates how dangerous they can really be.
Trust no one.
Never a dull moment.
So, Astarion, putting in work.
Breathe quiet.
Okay, so now we'll lead everybody into this room and we can start doing some searching. Okay, so first we'll check this moldering casket here. And this has a summon scroll. And we're going to send that to Gale. Okay, and we can start searching these guardians. Actually, we'll have Lae'zel do this.
Will be done.
So we can just pick these up. Okay, the arrow goes over to Astarion. Okay, and we're picking up longbows.
Without delay.
And we have the A's for Azimuth, but this is just a standard book. There's nothing special about this book. Okay, we do have some more camp supplies.
Let's have a look.
Okay, so we missed our first check there. So now we're going to split the group.
Well, hello.
And we'll have Astarion cast guidance on himself. And just try and move up here. And he found the dirt mound. Okay, and that's something to remember. Don't be standing in the middle of the dirt mound when you attempt to dig it up. Because if you do, the chest is not going to show up. Oh, and there's the book. The dark journal is over here laying on the ground.
Indolence breeds madness.
So yeah, the chest isn't going to show up. Okay, so here on the ground is the dark journal. So you can make your way over here and pick it up And the Dark Journal talks about this guy known as Ilantoth and his escape and what he was doing and that sort of stuff. And reading this book gives you clues as to how to answer the doorway over there. Okay. So nothing else here.
Have to keep going.
Okay, and there's nothing up here at the top. And we can make our way up here to the doorway. Okay, and we're going to do this again. So, again, reading through this book, he is from Thay, and he arrived here with an apprentice known as Ilantoth. His place is not ideal for his research, but he can't return home. Not the way that he escaped, he'd be put to death. Okay? So he's talking about his research, which is reanimation and restoring life. There's a tome in here that has some magic in it, but his apprentice is fighting him. And he has a familiar that he's been using to secure bodies. And he says that the Zolkirs are looking for him to try and bring, or that the Zolkirs are looking for him. He's trying to raise something and he can't say. But if he says, but if they do come for me, they'll have to face the guardians I've raised. Okay, so keeping all of that in mind, we're going to talk to the mirror again.
You are not my master. If you are his ally, step forward and declare it. Only a true ally of Ilantoth may pass. What think you of the Zolkir known as Zastan?
Hey, Reinmar. Thanks for showing up to the stream. I appreciate it. Sorry, I've been paying attention to the stream here. But, hello, welcome. So here we learned that he's being chased by the Zolkirs. So, and we answered this incorrectly last time. So if you answer this way, then that's the right answer.
You are no Zolkir, but are you wise? Tell me, why might one use balsam ointment?
Okay, we learned this from the apothecary's journal upstairs. You use balsam to clean a wound.
Acceptable. Finally. If you could see anything in me, what would it be?
Okay, and this is a tricky one. But you have to think of it from Ilantoth's standpoint. He was trying to live. He was trying to bring somebody back from the dead. Okay? So we're looking to stay alive by getting rid of this worm in our head, and that's the choice that you want to make.
You seek to survive. You seek power. Be welcome.
Okay. And that will open up this back area here.
A well-guarded laboratory. What were they hiding down here?
Okay, and it leads into this laboratory area. And we can do some quick searching down here. Okay, and we do have some gems here, and we'll see if Gale has any carry weight left on him to be able to take these without becoming encumbered, and he does.
Let's move.
Okay, so moving around the back.
Light on my feet.
We can search. We just have regular bottles up here. Again, there's nothing in the bottle rack. We can make our way around to this side. Now, if we move into this room here, you'll see that there's a lever on the wall. And that lever opens this secret wall here. And we know where this is because this down into this area from up above previously. So now we can continue searching here. We've got some basic poisons, which we're just going to end up selling. We do have a lot of camp supplies here. And we do have the rusted key. If you hold Alt, you can see it show up. It's actually right here on the shelf. Okay. And now we can continue searching. We're just picking those up for now. We're going to send them all to camp. But there's just a lot of them in this area. Okay. Now we're going to head back in here into the main area. And we can search this center area. And there are some research notes here on the table. And they're right here. Okay, so you can see that he's been trying to raise the dead. And he's reached the limit of his skills and resources for true resurrection. Okay. There it says there's the book offers help. Dare I accept? And you're going to learn more about that book here in a second. Okay, so we're going to have Lae'zel search the skeleton, pick up the dagger, and we're going to walk around back this way. And we can search in this little office area. So we're going to walk up here and again find out the chest is not trapped. Couple of spells here, which we will send to Gale. We have a mugwort bundle, which we don't need. We have another crystal ball, which, again, surprising it's not worth more money. And we have a vase we can search. And a skeleton we can search. Now, coming out here holding Alt, we have another book we can pick up here. And we don't need the cauldron. Clicked on it by accident. We can search the piles of books. And we have another antidote up here.
Found and taken.
Very, very useful. And we have some potion bottles and that sort of stuff. And now we come up here and there's a golden chest for us. Again, not trapped. And a bunch of scrolls for Gale. And the circlet of fire. And we're going to send that to Gale and we'll deal with his carry weight here in a minute. Okay, searching the books, nothing else here. Searching the desk, nothing. Okay. And now we're going to walk out here. And look at our inventory. We're actually going to bring our Druid up front and look at our inventory. So we picked up some camp supplies here that we definitely want to get rid of. Okay, and again, you just want to pick them up from this with the same person because they can all stack. And then you can send them all to camp all at once. Okay, so for... I thought it was Gale that was overloaded. It wasn't. For some reason, the Circlet of Fire went over to Astarion. Okay, the Circlet of Fire is when you deal fire damage with a non-cantrip spell, you gain a bonus action. Okay, now a non-cantrip spell, which means if you... And how is Gale carrying a salami again? This is so weird. I'm not telling them to equip a salami. So how is it getting equipped? It's so weird. I'm just hoping that's a serious misclick on my part. Okay. So if you look at Gale's spellbook, you can see he does have Scorching Ray, and this causes fire damage. This is not his Firebolt cantrip. It's with Scorching Ray. So if he casts Scorching Ray right now, he's going to gain a bonus action in combat. Doesn't really do a whole lot for Gale at this point. But gaining a bonus action is never bad. And we might as well, take that opportunity if we're equipping that spell anyway to get it. So we also picked up a bunch of scrolls. So if we look through this list, we picked up another Shatter Scroll. So we're going to spend 50 gold to learn the Shatter spell. Okay, and again, it's not prepared, but we are going to be thinking about preparing it here in a little bit. But that gets us, anytime we picked up a multiple of that scroll, we definitely wanted to use it to learn the spell. So that's exactly what we wanted to do when I saw we had picked up another Shatter spell. So we are going to split these, and we're going to split this again, and we're going to move some of these healing potions around to even them out a little more. And yeah, I think that gets us about where we need to be. So he's completely full. Okay, and that just about evens out our inventories for right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to create our save here. And we're going to start off next week's live stream with this obviously trapped area and the book, The Necromancy of Thay, inside of this secured room. So I think that'll be a good place for us to start off next week. And we'll kind of have an interaction here, and we're going to attempt that interaction a little bit later on, because we need to acquire another item that goes along with this book to basically unlock it. And we're not going to be able to unlock that book until we get into the Whispering Depths. So what we're going to do next week is we're going to get into this area. We're going to pick up the Necromancy of Thay in a way that I showed last live stream, I think, or maybe in my first live stream, that's not very well known. To pick up the book here, and then we're going to head into the Whispering Depths and check out all that it has to offer. And there's going to be a bit of exploration, and there's going to be a good amount of combat against some fairly powerful enemies down there as well. So I think at that point we're, like I say, probably at a good point to stop. So again, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me today. Without your support, none of this would be possible. And again, this is Commander Jorval saying, until next time, fare thee well.